Hi everyone, welcome to another Cosmic Conversation with me, Marie.
And me, Tina.
Oh, being the fabulous location podcast that we are, today we are in the thick of it, aren't we?
In our dog sanctuary, we are surrounded by around 28 dogs.
Yeah, which you will hear simultaneously. And if anything comes, like a cat or something, be prepared if you're listening on earphones. Anyway, welcome again. And this week we're doing premonition. Or premonitions.
Yep, premonitions. As I've had multiple premonitions, I will be talking about later. But, Marie, we looked up premonitions as a definition.
Right, yeah.
And what was it?
Right, here we go. It says a premonition is a perception or feeling about a future event that is believed to occur spontaneously without any logical reasoning. It's often described as a sense of knowing or a strong intuition about something that has not yet happened. Okay. So premonitions can manifest in various ways, such as vivid dreams, strong gut feelings, or sudden flashes of insight. While some people, they believe that the accuracy and significance of premonitions, they believe in it, sorry, that was my grammar. They believe in the scientific accuracy of it, right? But it says scientific research is inconclusive. But I'll tell you what, we both have some experiences in this area, which are very real. But I'd really like to start with you, Tina.
Yeah, my ones are usually in dreams. The first one I'm going to mention was Clapham Junction in London, where I used to live years ago. I was about, I was a teenager, about 15 years old. We was on a train, me and a friend, on our way to actually going to a horse market. And the train that we were on, we had to change to a connecting train.
Before?
You know, because it was on a different line.
Yeah.
So the train we were on was going to Clapham Junction, but midway, a few stops after we got on, we had to get off and change. Well, the minute, actually, this wasn't in a dream. This one was actually real.
This is real, isn't it? Yeah, I was going to say, you never dreamt this one.
No, this was, like in your face. We got into the train station. When we got, I say train, I mean tube. So the London tube system.
So London, UK, yeah.
Yeah. We was in the station, standing there, and when the next train came, it was just in this black cloud as it came out of the tunnel towards the platform. It was just like surrounded in this black cloud. This is what
you saw?
Yes, what I saw. And my friend's just standing with me, and the doors opened and we got on that train, but I just felt an immediate sick, like I just wanted to vomit. And
is that just walking onto it or sitting down?
Yeah, it was just like walking into this black cloud, and I looked at everybody on the train. There was a man standing up reading the newspaper, people with headphones on, people reading books, and I just looked at all of them. They were all surrounded in their own little cloud. Like, it was really weird, like a dark cloud.
So everything was going on normal, but you were sitting there, feeling this
dread, and I just knew.
What about your friend?
She did. She was just standing next to me. We went and sat down, and she sort of went ahead, and I was a bit hesitant, and then she looked back, and then she said, "What's the matter?" She saw my face. She went, "What's the matter?" And I went, "Everyone's gonna die." And she already knew that I'd had previous premonitions, like we used to talk about it on the way to school. Certain mornings when I'd had a premonition someone was going to die, and they did. Anyway, so I think it was a good few stops before we had to get off and change, but we had options that we could have got off at other stops. The train pulled away, and the more we was going along,
you stayed on it.
Yeah, the more we was going along, the more I was getting uneasy, and I just literally felt ill, like just this heaviness come over me, like it was horrible. And I thought, I've got to get off. I can't stand it. I've got to get off. So I can't remember if it was like the first stop or probably was the next stop. I literally got up and I said to her, I've got to get off the train. And she was hesitant this time, and I'd walked towards the door and I just said, get off the effing train now. And then she ran before the doors closed, and I literally got off the train. And we watched the train go, standing on the platform, and it just went off into this cloud of darkness. So we caught the next train, changed where we had to.
Didn't you go for something to eat?
No.
Oh, not that point.
No, we're still in the train station now.
Oh.
We had to get our connecting train to go to Ealing Broadway.
Yeah.
And then a bus on to Southall, where we went to the horse market. So we did. We went to the horse market. There was like a hot dog stand there, and when I used to eat meat, we stopped and had a hot dog. And on this little hot dog stand was the old-fashioned radios that we used to have back in the day.
Or before, or tellies.
And the news was on, and there was a major train crash at Clapham Junction, and it was the train we were on. So that was that.
So that was your...
And then, she actually dropped her hot dog when we were listening to it. She dropped her hot dog on the floor.
It must have been very, you knew what was happening in one respect. But for anybody else around you...
And they all died. Yeah.
God.
It wasn't the train that... We wasn't going to Clapham Junction anyway. So it wasn't a case of, like, if we'd have stayed on, we would have died. Because we had to change anyway. It's just that we changed. We got off. I had to get off because of physically.
You just had that clear feeling that, premonition. You had that clear feeling that something bad was going to happen.
Yeah.
Did you precisely know, if you get me? Do you know, like, precisely know, apart from they were going to die?
I didn't see it.
Excuse me?
It wasn't a premonition like some I've seen, physically seen. It was just a feeling that everyone was going to die. It crossed my mind that the train was going to crash, yes, because I couldn't think of any other reason why everybody on that carriage would have died.
How many years ago was that?
Years
roughly?
Ago. I was a teenager. What am I, 50s?
55, no, 50, so, I'm older than you, I'm 56 now.
So,
but you're 55.
Take away 15 years off of...
Well, a long time ago. I'm just trying, what I'm getting at is, that happened at that moment. How does it feel now?
Long forgotten, really. But at the time it played on my mind for ages, for months. But then it's not the only one, and then another one would replace it.
Right.
So I'm going to jump much later.
Is this the one in Scotland?
Yeah, into adulthood. This one was more of a being in a different place at the same time. Like, it wasn't the future.
Right.
It was happening, but I was miles away from it when it was happening, but I saw it with my eyes.
Hang on, I'm just trying to be clear. You say it was happening at the
time.
Right, but you didn't know it at that moment. It was afterwards, weren't it?
It was having a vision.
Yeah.
So I was walking the dogs over the park. We have like a 23-acre, we did have there, a 23-acre park. And I was in a field. The dogs walked off, looked up, and then I can't remember if I closed my eyes for a minute. I was just standing on the grass. And then in front of me was fire and all broken pieces of like helicopter and what looked like a roof of a pub or something. It was a small low building, which we have a lot of. We did have in England when we had the pubs. Mm-hmm. They're not there anymore, are they? Didn't know what it was, where it was, no inclination whatsoever. I just saw the building ablaze, or not. I don't know. I don't even think it was fire. I just think it was maybe dust, smoke.
Like a collapse.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
And obviously the helicopter pieces. It didn't even look like a helicopter. don't know. It was just pieces.
I'm just trying to get specific. Like,
Do you know, it reminded me of, like when you see earthquake.
Yeah.
And you see like...
The aftermath.
Yeah. So, walked the dogs. And that probably went on for like 5 minutes. And then the dogs came back to me, put them on the lead, and I went back. I don't know what that was. I used to do a lot of meditation at the time, and I used to do a lot of... at their stuff.
Yeah.
Another podcast. So I went home. The news was on the TV, and there it was, that exact picture.
So this
the
one,
live. Yeah,
yes.
Maybe it was seconds before. Maybe it was as it happened.
Like real time.
But it took me 10 minutes to get home.
Yeah.
And 10 minutes while I was sitting there, so maybe 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
So whether it was, directly before or as it happens, I will never know the exact pinpoint of time, because the news was on, and obviously it's just been reported, and that was in Scotland, in a pub, or on a pub. A helicopter had crashed into a pub.
That can be looked up, can it?
Died.
I'm so sorry, I don't know the area.
Yeah, that is on Google, if you Google it, yeah.
I'm asking you something right now. These two instances virtually happened like as you thought it, virtually. Right, particularly the second one you've just explained.
Yeah, Clapham Junction would have been like 45 minutes before.
Yeah.
45 to an hour.
This brings me to, like, if anybody says, like, there's going to be an accident or something and they phone the police.
Yeah.
I'd think they were off the trolley, wouldn't they?
Yeah. But then, yeah.
No, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not held accountable for anything. I'm just saying, I wonder if anybody's been in that position.
Yeah.
Where they have foreseen...
I told very few people.
Yeah.
When I've had premonitions. I wrote them all down, of which unfortunately I lost the book in a fire years ago.
Yeah, maybe they was meant to be.
Yeah, maybe, things weren't meant to be known.
Explained,
but then I'm saying them now, but then there are some that I wouldn't mention that I did dream about premonitions. Obviously I can't say all of them, and some of them I won't say.
Can I ask why? Is there something legal or?
No, not legal, but there's, if it's like...
Oh, hang on.
Unsavoury people that have done things.
Right,
yeah.
Okay. You don't have to
I know
explain.
people have been caught, so...
Yeah.
What's done is done, and it was a long time ago, But you said you get them like minutes before.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, the one that I thought of just before... we did this, because we have done this so spontaneously, as you can imagine, that's what we do on A Cosmic Conversation. I was just thought of, I was in a car, I wasn't the driver, I didn't know the road, I saw colours of the cars, and in them days, we're going back a few years, they were basically white, red, blue, not
before metallics came in,
and all that, right? So I actually seen how many cars? 1, 2, 3 cars at a crossroads go into each other. There's no lights, just go into each other. 2 from the side, 1 straight in the middle, and I just saw it. Right, the colours of the car, bang, it seemed within seconds, probably a minute or 2, we were involved in that crash.
So when you say you saw it, were your eyes open and you were just sort of like, were you looking out the window?
Yeah, in front, the road in front.
Yeah.
I was looking at the road in front, not knowing a crossroads, had never been there before.
Yeah.
That gets me. How did I know there was a cross? Well, anyway, and I thought of somebody putting their foot on the brake. All I saw was somebody slamming their foot on the brake. So I seen that image. I seen 2 cars coming left and right, and 1 straight in the middle. It's like sandwiched, the one in the middle.
So was you in?
I was in the sandwiched one.
So was you injured?
Whiplash and that, and the car went in the side and. Yeah, in the side of me. Yeah, that was
there's nothing you could have done at that point.
Yeah.
I think what's the point of having premonitions if you can't help anybody, like, what is it? What causes it? You
Yeah.
know, they are spontaneous, like the
But the accuracy, coming back to the accuracy,
yeah. Are we sort of going for a pocket of time in jumping into the future?
that's exactly what I was going to ask you. Did
You
I
know,
just
is
jump
the
forward?
future already written?
Yeah, was I seeing the recording? Was I seeing the playback?
Because, you know, we now say that time isn't linear. It's not a straight line, you know. It's like a DVD disc. You can go backwards and forwards. It's already there.
Yeah.
You know, the future's already happened. The past has already happened. You are in the present.
That is the most very clear one that I could tell you. But there's another one, isn't there, that I tell you every now and again. I know what somebody's had a conversation with somebody.
Yeah. So explain that one.
Okay, we're talking Fred and
Wilma.
Fred and Wilma, yeah, right. So Wilma comes to me and says, I spoke to Fred yesterday. And I go, hold it. Did you speak about this? And I went, yeah. And what it is, I can see from Wilma's perspective, right? I can see the reaction on Fred. And I know, I can see the reaction on their face. As if it's like they've got a you know what they call the cameras, like the coppers have.
Oh, yeah.
The GoPro things, right?
Yeah.
And it's as if it's being filmed.
And you're watching it.
And I'm watching it, yeah. And I'll get Fred saying this sentence, that sentence, their reactions to what Wilma's said. But it's like watching a film. That one I can't get over because I have that a lot.
I mean, is that like deja vu? What, you know, like
wouldn't I experience it if it was deja vu?
You know, like no, deja vu is not premonition, is it? Because
No.
deja vu is like so we're having this conversation, and I think like,
Have we done this before? Yeah.
So that's like a backwards premonition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't understand that. I don't know who that is,
That's
Lyra.
someone playing with a plastic bottle.
Yeah. And it's raining now, guys. It's raining. But yeah, that's mine. I couldn't. Would you say that I've never heard anybody else talk about premonition? Yeah, is
Like
it
minutes? In minutes.
Yeah, when I say a premonition, so hang on, how am I explaining this? Because that just sounds like something spooky at the moment. I've already thought, I haven't made this clear. I've already knew that conversation had taken place. I already seen it. So when Wilma came to me,
Yeah.
I already knew it had taken place.
You'd already.
That's
had
what I'm
that
trying to get at.
conversation.
Yeah. So to me, that was a premonition. And I think about that person, and I would probably say to call that person, how you doing? You all right?
That's another thing with premonitions. You know, years ago when we had telephones.
You mean at home?
Landlines.
Yeah.
And you like minutes or seconds before the phone's going to ring, you had an inclination that phone was going to ring.
Yeah.
And then it rings.
That's good.
You know.
Yeah. But it's not like, Auntie Betty would call at 4 o'clock every Tuesday, and just before 4 or just after, because people could go, but that person phones all the time.
Yeah.
Have you ever had one where somebody said to you, we're going to have a phone call about that person?
No.
I have.
Oh.
I've had somebody say to me, been thinking about like Brian or something. I reckon Olive's going to call. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Within that day, not days, but within that day, within hours, you get a phone call off Olive saying that Brian might have had an accident or something.
Yeah.
It's really weak sort of premonitions, but I think everybody's got it.
Yeah.
Maybe not as
It's like we're all in this loop, isn't it? We are all connected.
That's what I'm getting at. A lot of things we talk about, I bet you anybody who's listening goes, that's happened to me.
Yeah. When I said my nan died years ago, I was married then, living in London, and went to bed, but never in my life I've gone to bed with my clothes on. And I just slept with my clothes on. I literally took my shoes off, laid in the bed, and then early in the morning my mum and my aunt knocked on the door. I literally got up, put my shoes on, opened the front door, and I obviously knew by their faces, you know, that she died, and I just picked up my coat and walked out the door and went like that. We went to the, you know, to the hospital or whatever. That wasn't a premonition, but obviously it's
Hang
like
on.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Didn't see nothing, but indirectly something said to me, leave your clothes on. Like, what made me leave my clothes on? Never in my life have I slept fully clothed, you know, in trousers and a jumper or whatever. It wasn't cold.
So you're saying to me, you went to bed knowing that you got to get up?
No, I just went to bed with all my clothes on, and laid without the covers, just laid on top of the bed. And then when she knocked, it was, I don't know, maybe it was 6 o'clock in the morning. Tap tap on the door. I didn't even think, who's that at this hour? There was no fault. I just got up, opened the door. Literally beside my front door was the coat hook. I lifted up my coat, put it on, and, you know, put my shoes on and walked out the door.
It's like the science was saying, how can you prove all this?
No,
it's like you could be saying it after it, you know.
Yeah, like Nostradamus, isn't it? I mean, he's a famous...
There you go.
Yeah.
There's,
And they seem to have, like, twisted everything to make it fit to what happened. But he predicted his own death. Yes, we know, Pasha.
Pasha! Well, Pasha's famous
We're
now.
having a conversation here. We are having a conversation here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because people can say the predictions. There's predictions, like, would you say that tarot cards or runes are predictions? Are they anything to do with...
Yeah, I mean, I don't say...
Premonitions, predictions.
Yeah, people say, like, they, you know, tarot readers tell the future. We don't tell the future. We just give you advice on which path to take. You know, if you're like, oh, I'm not sure whether to marry this man or not. I would say, whether it's runes or tarot, I would say, okay, if you marry him, you're going to have this life. If you don't marry him, you're going to have that life. So it's not
you
really
choose your
predictive.
future.
But then sometimes in the cards do predict.
Events?
Yeah, they do.
So as the cards,
You know.
does the cards have premonitions?
I would say the cards are an extension of you. They're just a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just a tool, like the runes. It's coming from you. It's not an outside influence.
I hope you don't mind me asking. It's because, you know, somebody might say I went to a reader, tarot reader.
So, I mean,
you know.
how do you define predictions from premonitions? I think premonitions, going back to the definition, is like an event,
Yes.
isn't it? It's like a mass event usually, isn't it? Like an earthquake, plane crash.
I disagree.
Well, no, yeah, because yours
mine are
are
on
premonitions. Most of the time, they are like the loose definition.
Yeah, but you were at
is events. Yeah.
You were on the tube. You were there,
Yeah.
right? The one in Scotland. You know, you weren't there, obviously.
But then again, you know, in dreams. Yes, I've had premonitions in dreams, and also a lot of people have this where they dream of a birth and it's a death, and they dream of a death and they wake up and there's a birth.
What about Auntie May?
Loads of top. Yeah.
What about Auntie May, where it was 20 past 4 in the morning? I woke up suddenly in bed, shivers, feeling all cold, and I thought something's happened. And I thought it was a really bad thing that had happened.
Yeah.
And my dad told me about 2 hours later, because I went down for breakfast, to his house for breakfast, and he told me that Auntie May had died at 10 past 4.
Yeah.
What was that one? That's not a premonition. I'm trying to define it. It can't be.
What is it then?
Oh God, you got me here.
Is it a premonition? So
No, I was later. Do you get me? It was 20, but I was in deep sleep.
Right,
What is that?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't know.
Time and space displacement, which I think it's a bit like mine.
Yeah, because it happened. You know, you saying the Scottish one particularly. You're saying, did it happen while I was thinking it? Was it before? Was it after? And that's what I was trying to say about me sitting up and knowing. I felt it was a death, and then got confirmed. I try not to remember it.
So yeah, I think it is like a time displacement, time and space.
Can you explain that?
Displacement.
I really don't know.
Gosh, I'm not a scientist. I mean, it's theory anyway, isn't it? We can be in multiple places at the same time.
Right.
We are all connected as well.
Yeah.
You know, so I am you, you are me. I am him next door, he is me.
Now you're going somewhere where I don't know.
We are all connected. We still are all one. We're just those drops out of the ocean from the same ocean that all join together eventually. But we're all off doing our own thing. But we are still connected. But we're in our earthly bodies, living out our separate lives, aren't we? Our individual experiences. We were going off of premonitions now.
But
so.
time displacement, but you brought that in with premonitions, that's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to...
it's not really premonition then, is it? Dreaming of a birth and there's a death, and dreaming of a death and there's a birth.
Yeah.
I've had that quite a few times, and other people have had that at times. I've dreamt that somebody died, and it was totally someone irrelevant, and the next morning my cousin had a baby. She gave birth. And it's happened vice versa. I've dreamt of someone irrelevant having a birth, and it was a death. I think that is because of birth and death. It's a transition. Either way, it's a transition. So, and remember, when you're in dream state, your mind gets confused, don't it? Sometimes it's all babble. It's what you've been thinking about during the day, you know. And sometimes I think, was that a premonition? No, it was just because I've watched a horror film.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's listening who, you know, you go to bed and you wake up and you go, did that happen, or did I just dream it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes my mind won't stop.
Yeah.
So it's going on and on and on, and having conversations that I haven't actually I'm sorry, I haven't had yet.
So would you believe in premonitions?
Yeah.
You do believe that people have them?
Yes.
And see the future?
Oh yeah, it's one of the not on the wall, not on the fence things.
Yeah.
I do, because I've experiences. I've had people say, has anybody ever done this to, don't go down that road, or don't go that route.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't do that today.
Yeah.
And you go, and I have asked why, and they go, just go that way.
Yeah.
And I can't prove this because it was a long time ago. But you know, there's been something happened down there. Like there's been I don't know, somebody was there's been a car accident. There was big traffic jams. I don't know, and it sounds really weak. It always does what I'm bloody saying, but it has happened. People do. What about people who go, I'm going to win the lottery? Is that just wishful thinking? And they do.
Yeah, but how many millions? That, you know, it's like one in a whatever it is.
Yeah,
trillion.
I'm going to go and get a ticket. I know I'm going to win. I think it's wishful thinking, innit? That's not from it, you know.
Yeah. So Mitzi doesn't agree on that one. So premonitions, I haven't had any for years, to be honest.
Haven't you?
No. Again, like every time I say it, it's that Wi-Fi thing interfering, isn't it? I think the frequencies.
Do you think a lot of things have happened pre something, pre an age?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh no!
There's a scuffle going on. Wolfie, we love you, but not around us, please. What's we saying? Sorry.
So don't you think that to me, there's lots of things you have experienced, lots of things you talk about. Seems pre something, and I know you say Wi-Fi. I know that, but to me, am I wrong? It's pre something else. Was it pre family? Was it, you know, having your own family? Was it pre? You know.
Actually, the one that I said about my nan dying, I remember sitting in the car, you know, in the funeral car, the limo, whatever it was, and obviously it was all crying, and I said to my family, I said, something came over me that day, and I said to my aunt, I think it was, my mum, I said, it's gone. What it was like, my nan took it with her, like everything I'd had, call it a gift or whatever you call it. I used to have premonitions and being able to see things when I was doing the tarot as well.
Yeah.
And it just all went, and then I struggled after that to gain everything back. It was like relearning everything all over again when it came naturally, and I was like angry with that. And I
so did your nan give you the strength to do? Maybe she was my link. Maybe she was my link, but then, you know, she's on the other side. Thought there might have been a stronger link, but it's like you said this about your mum. Said this about your mum, didn't you?
What?
Oh God, sorry. The story. Yes, about getting in contact with her, and you thought it would be easier.
Well, I thought it would have been, but it's not. So going back to Wi-Fi, I guess.
Are you blaming? And I'm serious. Are you blaming everything on Wi-Fi? No, I am not taking the mickey.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's me. Maybe it was me.
I agree with you about Wi-Fi. So I'm just saying.
People have said, "Oh, it hasn't bothered me." You know, I know other people that have that still do stuff, and it hasn't bothered them. So maybe it's me. I don't know. Maybe I'm sensitive to it. Maybe I'm more sensitive.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I absolutely.
But yeah, dream-wise, premonition-wise, there's been nothing for years. But that time in my life, I had. I wouldn't say I've got a lot to worry about now, but I had less to worry about. You know,
the worry didn't take up the space of
you know, my mind is very, very busy now. Very, very busy. I don't have a moment to spare. So, you know, I find it very hard to find time to even meditate. It's being in that quiet space to pick things up.
Have you got any more premonitions that you're willing to share?
Not really. I mean, they were basic ones when I was very young. They was like literally every other day. But there was a space when we, you know, we'd go to school, and my friend would call me like the woman of doom, and we'd meet every day and walk to school. You know, and this was like 15, 16, just before we left school. And she'd say to me, "Oh, who's dead today?" And then I'd say so and so, so and so, and it was always someone famous. At the time, it was like Benny Hill. What was his name? Rigsby from Rising Down.
Leonard
Rossiter. Yeah, these were all around like the same time, and there seemed to be a lot of celebrity deaths at the time. It was like literally like one every other day or one a week, and I would see them in the newspaper in my dream, and then I would wake up in the morning, and then I'd say, "Yep." Sometimes I got the names wrong, slightly wrong. But that they were pretty close, and it was like I saw it in the newspaper. And obviously then there was no Google, there was no internet. We went and bought a newspaper, and that's what I would do. I would go and buy the newspaper, and that went on for a while, and then that stopped, and I have no idea why this suddenly came and went. There's no explanation. I can't say. I didn't learn to do it, you know?
You didn't learn to stop.
No.
That's not so, you know. Yeah.
No.
Is anybody out there listening? Do you have premonitions? Do you have stories to tell us?
Yes, please do, because I'm still confused. Like years ago it happened.
Oh, we don't come on here boasting we know everything about particular subjects. So premonitions, I reckon we're going to come back to this. I want to look up a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we should also do one on maybe deja vu as well.
Well, we've mentioned it, haven't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
Did you mention that before?
All right, I'm going to make a premonition then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to make a premonition. The one after the premonitions is going to be deja vu.
Or at some point. Right, guys, we're going to have to go because it's raining. We've got to get some of the sheeting in we've put out to cover the dogs from the sun.
Yeah.
So I didn't realise it was
It's
raining.
pelting down. I think we are into autumn winter.
Yeah, hope you're safe and well wherever you are, and look forward to you joining us on another cosmic conversation.
And we will see you, or we won't see you, but we will hear from you, we hope.
Oh yeah, please.
And you will hear from us.
Yeah. All right, it's goodbye from Marie.
And goodbye from Tina.